good. Welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him? Zero. This time I'm joined by Molten. Welcome back to this. Welcome back to the stands. Yeah, absolutely. TVP this time as well.
Things we love to see. We're veterans in this matchup.
Of course. Yeah, I'm sure I played against you a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that work out for
few
you?
proxy ghosts. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's not talk about how that worked out for me.
All right. I'm just speaking with the players now. They're just doing their vetoes. It is a best of 5 in the lowers, so this will be a fight for a chance to. Essentially, revenge for both players.
Yeah.
Beating Fujimi in the finals.
Brotherly revenge is the battle of the Seka brothers, both falling 3-2 to Jumi in the upper bracket.
There's a lot of poetry and a lot of stories to be told so far in this tournament. Both of these players have lost to Fujimi 2 and 3. They are, of course, brothers. So there's just a lot of there's a lot of mind games going on. I reckon these guys must have played each other so many times.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they've been going to these lands for years now at this point. So, as well as playing in their bedrooms together, they would have played in competitive matches against each other as well, just like this.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, certainly, I remember the Belong did a series of Starcraft 2 tournaments in the UK. I saw Razer play against Zain there. Razer absolutely wipes the floor with Zain during those tournaments.
Well, I think Razer does go into this as the favourite, but both of them have had such a close series with Fujimi. They're both clearly in really good form right now.
Despite not playing very much.
Yeah, but that's what 50% of the people who come to this tournament say.
Yes, yeah. So we'll have to see what maps these guys choose to veto. What do you think we'll expect to see in terms of map choices there?
So PVT, again, I think altitude is probably unlikely to be seen, as in almost every matchup. It seems to be one of the most popular vetoes, just because it's so different to the other maps. You simply don't get as much practice on a map that big.
Not since Whirlwind, Danny.
Yeah, literally, it reminds me of Frost.
Yes, I remember that one.
It's about that size and the same theme.
Like Deadwing.
Yeah. Other than that, I think the maps are pretty average for TVP. I don't think there's too much like this map's really good for Terran, this map's really
neither
good
here
for
nor there any particular way.
Which I think is good. I think it's a bit weird when you go into a map expecting the Terran or expecting the Protoss to win just because of the map.
In terms of build order choices and strategies, I'm keen to see what Razer's going to pull out the bag. Because you've seen them so far this tournament go for 3 racks openings. We've seen them go for the 1 base, double gas, double Reaper, Hellion sort of approach to things.
We saw him do that Widow Mine Frenzy against
Fujimi
with I've seen him 3 Widow Mine
I've seen him doing that on ladder as well. He's been doing quite a lot. Like Proxy Factory reacted with the Proxy Armory as well to get those Widow Mines out. I think I've seen Soul do that recently as well. So, yeah, but then again, Zain knows that Razer's capable of doing that.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be some mind games. I wonder if that means we're going to see more weird games or more standard games.
That is the question.
I'm not sure, because it might just mean, well, I'm not going to do anything weird because my opponent's seen all of it before. Or it might mean I'm going to do something crazy my opponent's never seen before, even though they've played against me a lot of times.
Given the competitive nature of these two brothers, it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to try to out-game each other. They want to be seen to be the big brain, 200 IQ brother. You know, they want to get something special out the way. I don't think, you know, I'm not convinced they're going to go for the straight-up standard macro.
And as well as beating their brother, which must be satisfying in and of itself, I'm sure they're desperate for another chance against Fujimi. How close they got to beating him. And potentially Fujimi could have been in this matchup right now.
Also, for the viewers at home, just to make you aware, there's a lot of, I want to say, this was like there's a bounty on Fujimi's head. This is Fujimi's first ever tournament, and so far he's in the grand final, set to take down EPIC38 on his first entry. So a lot of the community here are backing the UK players.
Yeah, for sure.
So both players now really wanting to take it to Fujimi. So we'll have to see which one takes the dub.
For sure. I like Fujimi, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
a very nice
sound guy.
Lovely
really
to
nice.
have him here. But I do really want one of the Seka brothers to take it.
Yeah. It would be so funny, actually. I was talking to Razer earlier. I called him the Sue of the UK SE2 scene because he always came second. But Razer said to me, that's not true. Sue loses to different people all the time and comes second place. I only come second place to Razer. Sorry, Razer always comes second place to Risky. Totally right. But if Razer comes second place to Fujimi, then he'll become the Sue of the UK.
The Conquest.
Yeah. All right, we'll just have to see where the players are up to exactly. I'm just going to message one of them now just to say to invite us to lobby when they're ready.
Yeah.
I did see them both at their PCs earlier.
And pray that it won't be too long until we're in the game. There's only so much talking you can do about PvP.
We can only buy so much time. I'm wondering if Zain's going to go for a Stargate opening, because I've seen him do that against Terran in the past, going for that Phoenix sort of Colossus style.
I definitely could see Zain using Phoenix Colossus quite a lot in this series.
We've seen Fujimi do it as well, so I think it is quite popular at the moment.
I think that Zain might try get aggressive with some Blink Stalker, maybe 3-gate, 4-gate Blink.
Okay, you think?
As well.
Okay, sure. I mean, definitely. I mean, that would be a very interesting one to watch, for sure.
I think in general, I'm not saying he's cheesy, but I'd say Zain's a bit more aggressive than just the type to sit back. But then the same goes for Razer with his multiple Widow Mine drops and things like that.
I've definitely seen Zain a lot go for that heavy gateway style army, so that sort of hero-esque style where you go for mass gateways rather than relying on the Colossus or Storm. You just muscle on through with Chargelets, Big Stalkers and
That's
Sentries.
the great thing about these two players, that they're very diverse. They can do a lot of different builds, and there's some other players like me, for example. I just do the same thing every PvT, and it works. But
Invisible Men.
Yeah, Invisible Men, a good unit. But yeah, these two are very, very versatile.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Still waiting on the vetoes to be done. So
goodness gracious, these Seka brothers. I mean, let's be honest. Are we surprised? These guys turned up about 3 hours late yesterday, so you know.
I think they turned up slightly late today as well, but let's not talk about that. I'm going to try and message RazerBlader.
Maybe not the most punctual family.
No. Into lobby when ready. Of course, Razer's still playing on the Volticus account. I'm a bit loath to make him...
He even changed his account last time we cast him.
He did, yeah. But I don't want to ask him to sign out and log back in again on his main, purely because we've had that error.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. I don't know if that's been fixed yet.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just...
we
are now in the lobby waiting for the players to join, so we are shortly going to get into the game.
I think it has been fixed. I think Fujimi's back in his seat now.
Yeah, good.
But yes, I think it's better that we just remind everyone that this is not Volticus you're watching, it is Razer.
All right. For some reason, I'm the host of this lobby, so I'm going to ask if the players are ready.
Zeroy is
ready? Question mark.
Zain's getting water.
There's always something going wrong.
It's always Zain, isn't it? Unbelievable.
Zain loves to make us wait. He's a bit of a tease, that man.
Yeah. Did you see his video on Harsum's YouTube channel?
I haven't seen that, no.
Tea?
No.
He took a bunch of different types of tea to Katowice and made all the pro gamers try it. I don't come up with
what are we talking? Tetli tea? What are we talking
about?
No,
like Mijang, like some fancy Asian teas that I've never heard of. And yeah, I mean, look, Harsum's clearly scraping the bottom of the content at this point. That's all right.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it.
It was an interesting video, I guess.
Well, I'm glad someone enjoyed the tea.
Yeah.
Then again, have you ever had loose leaf tea?
I don't really like tea.
Oh, do you not?
Revoke my British passport.
You can't be
now.
British. No.
Yeah,
to be fair, I used to not like tea at all until at work. It was like a sociable thing. It's like having a cigarette break. You'd have a tea break. And then I became addicted then. I had to have a tea break at 10:30 every morning, 2 p.m. every afternoon, and it was always on those two occasions I'd have my tea. It doesn't feel right anymore to not have that.
Right, fair enough. Maybe when I'm an old man like yourself, I'll fall into tea ways too.
No. Those wrinkles will come shortly, I'm sure. You've already got some of the grey hair.
I've got a lot of the grey hair, so I'm not too far off. Yeah.
No. My girlfriend always rinses me for having some greys coming out the sides now.
It's a hard life.
I know, I'm going to have to get my hair coloured soon, I reckon.
I thought about this. I thought better of it. My mum was like, don't do it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm sold. Good advice. Thanks, Mum.
Mum's always got your best interest at heart, hasn't she? All right. I'm keeping an eye out on the horizon, trying to find Zain.
He's a bit small, isn't he? So hard to see.
Well, he's quite short, so it should be quite easy to identify.
Yeah, true.
There. Oh no, sorry, I think that's someone's child. Never mind. Isn't Zain the older brother as well?
Yes, he is.
That's the wildest thing.
That confused me that when I first found that out. I just assumed Zain was like quite a bit younger, but he's actually older than
Yeah,
Raza.
I was convinced that Raza was the older brother by far, and actually it's the other way round.
Yeah.
Okay, producer's asking us if we need a break, but I'm pretty confident. As long as Zain,
I don't think Zain will take too long to
so
get
long
water,
as Zain
gets
his,
okay.
as long as Zain gets his water and is nice and hydrated, we could finally get into the game. We're in the lobby. We can see both players are in the lobby, but obviously Zain AFK
Just
trying to get
teasing
himself a
us.
drink. I know.
I see for Jumi chatting with the K10 guys. They've been very supportive.
You know Jumi's always BM with the question marks on the map. Jumi is a crowd pleaser. Zain's the opposite. Zain doesn't care about the crowd.
he does not care at
Zain's
all.
going to make the crowd wait for his
He's probably watching the stream like,
yeah.
Like these guys are waiting for me.
Yeah. Zain's right now on his phone drinking his water like, look at these poses on the stream. All right. Let me just type in the lobby now. Ready? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Just to get some of the urgency across.
Them up, you know. They'll see they're ready. Yeah. Okay, we got to start now. But Zain's going to reply instantly. Yeah, I'm ready. Be ready for ages. You guys are waiting for.
Hopefully it's only water Zain's drinking and not like some sort of double gin and tonic.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder where he went to get this water.
He must have gone all the way to the source of the Nile to get this water. Razer's just messaged us to say he's still getting water.
He sees him now.
Okay. Razer can now see Zain. I'm assuming that means Zain is nearly at his PC.
It must.
Okay. As soon as Zain says he's ready, we will start the game. Go, says Razer. Ready, Zain? Question mark.
Any Zain believers? Hi, says Zain. Are we playing today or tomorrow? This guy.
Right.
This guy. Right, I know who I want to win now. Come on, Raza.
Cool. I clicked start. Zain hasn't said he's ready, but he's clearly in the lobby.
Race.
Oh,
they are the right race.
They are, yeah.
Okay. Oh, phew.
I thought I was going to have to remake the lobby then.
Would have been extremely anticlimactic after this long wait.
Oh my god. Okay, that's the most I've ever had to procrastinate for anything.
I think we managed though.
Yeah. Okay, we are finally in game. So let's get in there then. Spawning in the top left is the red Terran player. It is not Vodkus. It is Razer. And
in the southeast, in the blue, teamless. But playing Protoss, it's Zain.
Alright.
Zain never likes to be on a team.
Absolutely not. Right, I'm actually getting some audio issues.
I'm
Can you hear that as well?
Issues as well. I don't know if that's a... don't know if that's
I'm hoping that's not affecting the stream. Yeah, I'm hoping that's not affecting you guys at home.
Now. But we have no game sound.
Yes, we have no game sound now. That's probably... Oh, no, there it is again.
And we're back.
Okay, hopefully you guys can't hear the audio problems.
Making sure I didn't put my chair on some wire, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So just looking at what's going on the map now, we see Razer going for a very safe barracks, then gas. Presumably going to go into a fast expands. Likewise, Zain not going for anything completely off the wall yet, just going for that nice and safe probe scouts. Likely to be a fast expand off of this one base, one gas even, so pretty standard out of both players so far.
We've been having some great series recently on the stream. I hope this will be another one. I think it definitely has potential to be a banger of a series as well. You'd expect it to be close. Do you think Razer goes in as the slight favourite?
Absolutely. We see Razer now sending this SCV across the map just to scout out what's going on. Likewise, this probe being annoying but not accomplishing too much. Certainly not getting damage done that Fujimi managed to get done with his probe in game number 1 of Razer's series with him. And there goes down the expansion for Razer.
I actually spoke to Jimmy about that probe.
Yeah, what did he say?
He was surprised at how much damage he got and how that game 1 went so comfortably for him.
Razer sees there's nothing to be afraid of.
Apparently Razer was extremely tilted after that game 1.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Just seeing one Adept get 6 SCV kills is just obscene. Okay. Reaper now coming across the map. the Reaper's going to try to see what form of tech Zain is going for, but he's not going to find it because it looks like Zain is going to go for that proxy tech with this pylon over here, just next to the natural. This is likely to be a Stargate given its location. Very easy for an Oracle to fly over here. So Reaper now coming in. It gets shooed away by this Adept, and then gets greeted on the other side as well. So very nice little play here by Zain. He keeps his Adept here on the low ground just to stop the... Oh. If you could mute the audio for us, that'd be very good, producer. Thank you very much. There we go. Once again, hopefully you guys at home aren't getting the audio problems that we ourselves are as observers. But the Reaper does get shooed away, does not see any form of tech.
That's a proxy gateway by Zain, not a Stargate. Well, that is very interesting. I don't know what this is going to be. Is this going to be an Adept?
I don't know. This is likely to be 3-gate blink, I think, with the Twilight as well.
3-gate blink without a robo.
Yeah, with the proxy gate.
In fact, it is. Was it Zain? I think it was Zain who did this against someone earlier. No, it can't have been Zain. Someone did this build earlier in this tournament because I remember hearing people talk about it.
I find it interesting to know as well that you yourself said that you think that you'd likely to see Zain pull off a 3-gate and 4-gate blink, and it is indeed a 3-gate variation. We see a 1-1-1 setup here for Razer. So again, this is a very safe, very standard Widowmine drop, but he needs to be careful because the 3-gate blink is deadly. It is not an all-in, but it's a highly pressure-based build. 4 Stalkers coming up here into the natural, only going to poke around. He's going to try and pick off some SCVs. He gets one. One Stalker gets quite low, but again, just playing footsies here.
Not a massive fan of the bunker positioning because it's allowing Zain to walk north into the near to the mineral line without really being in range of the bunker.
And again, Zain just warping his Stalkers 3x3 at the proxy gateway, allowing him to get this pressure on. The Marine count is going up. So the DPS is quite high at this stage of the game, but again, Zain just walking up, taking some shield damage, picking off a few Marines, and then walking back down again. So really nicely played here by Zain, just eking out small advantages here and there, likely to be for when the blink finishes, that's when he's going to try and potentially go for the kill.
Yeah. I don't think Razer will mind too much. He's now going to have a tank out, so while he's lost a couple SCVs and a couple Marines, it's nothing major.
One tank is now finished. It's going to be here on the low ground.
Back so it doesn't get blinked on. Oh wow, he recalls everything for this.
Yes, that's the Widowmine drop.
Single mine?
I think that's a massive overreaction. I guess, having warped in across the map, Zain obviously couldn't warp in defensively, but I think to recall is quite... I mean, it's going to defend the drop, don't get me wrong. It just means that any sort of attack that he had on the front here has just been completely denied.
There's two... With Blink, you can get to the other side of the map fast, but the issue is, with this build, is that you don't have a prism, so you don't have vision into the main base, so you can't really get too much done with these Stalkers at the front.
Stalkers are going back across the map, though, to Razer. Razer himself, with the Reaper, gets to see the timing of the third base. So he must suspect, at least, that this is... Oh, he actually sees it there.
Well, Razer sees the proxy gateway now as well.
Yeah, he saw this with the medevac that's going out across the map. So Zain poking back up again with these Blink Stalkers now, out of range of attack. He steps up, loses a Stalker. Actually gets the Supply Depot and an SCV, but again, I don't think there's much more to be done here. I think the pressure that Zain could have inflicted has now passed.
Yeah, I think Zain still like to stay here with his Stalkers to prevent Razer from moving out.
Still map control. Ultimately, so long as Stim is not finished, Razer has no semblance of map control. So Zain is free to do as he pleases with his Stalkers. And likely, when Razer does start to move out, he'll just kite with his Stalkers. He'll try to get some damage off into the bio, potentially pick off a tank or medevac, and then blink back.
Third base finishing up now for Zain, +1 charge on the way.
Again, this sort of heavy gateway style opening that I was talking about earlier. We see an explosion of gateways and a robo now just to round off the tech, but the upgrades really are going to be the really important thing for these units.
Yeah, that is a lot of gates. I wonder if we're going to see a second forge at any point, because he's going up to 8 gateways, 9 gateways.
Wow.
That's actually crazy.
That
is a lot.
But he has the economy to support it. He's now saturating his third base very nicely. So he should be able to support that. There's 9 gates. Well, these Stalkers are just engaging straight up with those Marines in the tank.
3 Stalkers for like nothing there, and he lost 2 probes at home. Maybe distracted by that Viking harass in the main base.
No Widowmine drops going into the natural, so it must have been that Viking. Is totally right on that one.
How is
Zain
a
bit of a misplay there by Zain.
Look at that army supply. It's looking worrying for the blue Protoss.
Razer slowly building up a very scary army. Stim is now finished. Combat shields will finish soon as well. And as soon as +1 finishes, again, Zain has to be ready. Stim forwards, catches out some of the Stalkers. They take a lot of damage. There you go, tag onto that Stalker, takes that one out. I think Blink is going to come off cooldown soon, so Zain should be able to blink away. Nice and safe, kiting those units back. Notice how Zain is kiting them to the right side of the map, away from the third base.
Yeah, I like it. I
think it's a very nice choice.
It's still going to be a tough hole. There's no splash damage
at
all here, and there's some boys with this.
I don't know if Razer's doing this because he knows the stylistic choice of Zain is to go for this heavy gateway army. Without Colossus and without Storm, pulling the boys is actually a really smart move.
Yeah. It's just a few boys, it's nothing crazy, but...
No. He might want to build a few bunkers perhaps. He's buying time with these force fields, but ultimately, we've mentioned earlier, there's a lot of gateways for Zain to have been building, but now that they've just finished, he's only starting to make use of them now. 6 chargelets being warped in, 1 immortal in the production tab, but nothing else. Stim forward here by Razer. That's just so many Widow Mines. It's almost like he knows that Zain's going to go for a mass chargelet style, because these chargelets aren't going to last a minute with these Widow Mines. Now that the chargelets have gone, this army is incredibly soft, and Razer has exactly no opposition to his force in the natural.
Yeah, this build has been carved out to be exactly what Zain's doing. So many Widow Mines and tanks to back it up, and there's just nothing Zain can do.
Every single probe on this base is going down. GG is called. Razer takes it with that decisive attack, cutting the natural and the third base.
A dominant game 1.
Absolutely. You said it earlier. I mean, Razer had a very scary army. As soon as all those upgrades lined up, he just moved across the map, pulled the boys, had so many Widow Mines as well.
Yeah, 8 Widow Mines.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that I've seen a lot of Terrans simply build 2-3 tanks and then unsiege and go.
Yep.
Razer must have built 1 tank or 2 tanks and then just gone back into reactive Widow Mines and then attacked with the Widow Mines.
Yep.
Really smart choice there by Razer.
Seems that Razer just knew that Zain was going to go for the heavy gateway, heavy chargelet approach. And
he knew the timing to hit as well.
Yeah.
He knew the timing to hit as well.
Absolutely nailed it.
Again, it might come down to the fact that these two players play against each other very often, so Razer very familiar with how Zain likes to play.
And now the onus is kind of on Zain to switch it up, because if he does that again, I think Razer will just do the exact same push, or at least a similar push.
I don't think Zain got any momentum going with that 3-gate blink. I mean, he tickled a bunker, he got a couple SCVs, but nothing really more than that.
Yeah.
At 3-gate blink, you want to get some more stuff done, otherwise you may as well go 2-blank third base. Alright, we are now in game. Let's introduce our players. In the bottom left is the Res Terran player. It is RazerBlader.
And in the northeast, in the green, playing Protoss, it's Zain. Best luck, don't hurt fingers.
Yeah, I don't know if that's some kind of in-joke, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Nope.
Maybe Razer hit his desk or something? I don't know. I know.
Maybe
brotherly love.
Family are able to have their own in-jokes. Alright, once again, nice, safe and standard for Razer.
A disturbing lack of sprays in this series, though, so far.
I'll be interested to know if Razer chooses to go for a double gas opening at some point. It's almost like I can read Razer's mind.
You've played this game before. I didn't know you were Razer, that's crazy.
I know. What can I say? Great minds think alike.
It's impressive that you're casting and playing at the same time.
Oh yeah, I have 6k knowledge. I just have 4k speed on my fingers, so that's why I'm choosing to cast.
That's why you're 5k.
yeah. All right. So Zain's probe going to come in, try to see what it can do, but I think nice RNG there with the SUV and a nice lift on this supply depot, minimizing that damage. But Zain sees the double gas, so he must know what this means, which is presumably a double Reaper Hellion.
Yeah, and we'll see if Zain changes his opening. Maybe he goes into a Stargate now, seeing this double gas opening. It's always nice. It means you can get the scout off with the Oracle, and you can build Phoenix to deflect things like Reapers, Hellions, Widowmine drops, all which could be on their way.
This probe has now been locked in. I'm keen to know if this probe is actually going to get recalled. I've seen Ross do this a few times. I never know if it's worth it,
I think it is worth it.
Yeah, clearly Zain agrees. So yeah, there he is. Recall on the probe saves it. It's very nicely done. Cybercore finished up. Adept on the way, and keen to see if this is a Stargate opening like you said. Is that the best thing to do against the double Reaper Hellion opening, or could the Twilight Council type opening work as well?
A Twilight Council opening definitely does work, especially if you don't think your opponent's going to do a one base all in. I think it's quite unlikely to see from Razer, especially if they haven't fully walled off their main base.
There he goes. Reaper jumps up into the main base, but immediately is met by the Adept. I don't think Razer got to see anything in the main base of Zain, so doesn't even see the Twilight Council. But he's going for his own expansion. There is a second Reaper out across the map, so they will meet up. And the Hellion also on the way. See, Reactor on the barracks. I reckon there'll be a tech lab on this factory afterwards. Going into potentially a Cyclone. No, going into the Widow Mines. So potentially a Widow Mine drop coming in after this. Two Widow Mines, so two Reapers now going to jump up. The Adept was shading away, that gets cancelled. Two Reapers now going up into the main base. There is actually 3-shot probes, which is very quick. Stalker just finishes, picks off that one Reaper that was injured. So only one probe going down so far. Excellent defense there by Zain.
Nicely done by Zain. I thought he was going to lose 2 for sure, but the Hellion in the natural, that probe.
The shield battery finishes though. I think Razer was lucky to get that one probe kill on the natural there.
Oh, it's DTs.
Oh, that is really interesting. Proxies the Dark Shrine as well. Okay. So clearly, Razer sees the Twilight Council.
Razer saw the Twilight Council not upgrading there.
Potentially, but I think the Twilight Council only just finished when he got in there. Yeah. And of course, he was busy microwing, trying to get probe kills rather than clicking on the Twilight Council. You know, I don't know why you click on the Twilight Council if it's already been built.
Is Razer building any detection or any tech lab on a starport?
He is building a tech lab on a starport.
Okay, so he's going to be able to get a Raven out.
Yeah.
So I think
does he have a medevac out there? Yeah, it's got 2 Widow Mines loaded in it, so he is going for the Widow Mine drop follow-up. Tank on the factory rather than the Cyclone. So I guess the tank is there to be safe against any kind of blink play, like we saw in the last game. And it is a Raven out of the starport.
And with the new patch, these Ravens build at approximately the speed of sound. So that's going to be no damage for this DT.
Interestingly,
that's try and come in through the front door.
There's no robo base, so this can't be lifted into the main base. Yeah. So just warping him in by the bottom of the map, DTs are going to run on in, but the Raven's nearly finished. This DT needs to be careful. It's not even moving. What is it doing? It's not attacking, it's not moving. Oh, it's this whole position micro. The whole position micro there by Razer catches us off guard. We're just a bit confused. Only 2 SCVs going down, which is an excellent hold there by Razer. Superb defense.
Down on the other side of the map. See the Widow Mine drop at the same time. It's a good start for Razer in this game.
Absolutely.
Normally as Zain, like, if you go in with one DT there and you see they have detection, you can always save the other DT at least. But losing both really
I think it's the fact that this DT was on the ramp and he knew there wasn't detection, so he was really trying to muscle his way into the main base, and that's when the second one came in. But obviously as soon as the Raven pops out, bang, it's done.
And if Zain was paying attention, he would have just killed at least some of the Marines and got into the main, but the Widow Mine drop kept him distracted at the same time.
No one attack commands the DTs into the main base. You always got to move command them in, So you're right. I don't think Zain was paying attention as it was trying to move up the ramp. Or maybe he was, and he's just confused as to why it was just standing still, like we were. Even so.
4 gateways on the way. Triple probe production. I mean, the work count doesn't look like a disaster for Zain right now.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Similar to the last game, Ra's just going to have one hell of a 2-base push coming.
Yeah, you're right. It's totally identical to the last game. Zain is nicely probing up his 3rd base. Hellion comes in, but I think it's only going to tickle a few probes. Might get a couple kills even. But I mean, that Hellion is like a breath away from dying. There it goes, finally. 2 more probes. Yeah, just a small little nice pick-off.
We see Raza making Widow Mines once again now.
He's reactoring those Widow Mines out again, having built 2 tanks. So it is literally going to repeat. Going to be a repeat of last game. We see a lot of gateways in production, but again, we've seen all this before. Deja vu. The question is, can Zain hold on? This time, is there even a forge? No forge. No upgrades coming in for these chargelets. There's another robo going down. So
I don't know how Zain ever holds this.
The issue has to be with the DT opening though, because he's delayed his upgrades, he's delayed his tech with the robo. I don't know how he holds this now. Potentially he can warp in DT. Yeah, potentially he can warp in DTs and warp them into Archons.
Yeah, a couple Archons under a super battery can work miracles, but
nevertheless, a really tough hold, especially with the Raven. Does the Raven still have the armor shred missile?
Yes.
It does, okay, good.
And it has a lot of energy on it, we can see.
Yes.
So even if there were 2 Archons, they could just both be interference matrix.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
From here comes the push.
Sim up forwards, try to take out some of those Stalkers, but they blink away. Again, because there's no 3 gateway blink in this build, this time round, there's just not enough pressure to cut. There's not enough Stalkers here to really convincingly kite this bio army. Again, pulling some of the boys is
that blink
Razer.
is not the one.
No, these Stalkers are trapped. He's just about ready to escape, but I don't think these Stalkers are going to amount to much. They're so flimsy.
And that army from Zain is looking tiny. It's 82 army supplies to
Only
just
one
42.
shield battery. Just look at this tiny army that the Protoss has, and yet Razer has been building up this huge one. The Immortals caught out of position. There's the armor shred. Stuttering forwards is the Terran army. He's going to take out all of these units. I don't see how Zain holds on. GG.
GG. Razer makes it 2-0 with
in exactly the same fashion as he did in the first game. In exactly the same way.
Yep. Let's hope Zain switches it up now.
I mean, Zain did try to switch it up. That's the problem. He went for the DTs, got nothing done, and died to the same push.
True. Okay, yeah, but he still went for this charged up composition.
Yes,
and it looks like Razer just knows that Zain's going to try and do that. And he's going to punish it accordingly.
So, but what do you do? What do you do differently? Do you open up Colossus? Do you open up Storm or something? Or what do you do?
I mean, yeah, those are the 2 options. You can go for a faster Robo and a faster Robo Bay. Try getting to Colossus, maybe some disruptors. Or go for early Templar Archives. But this is clearly the way Zain likes to play, right?
Yeah.
He's clearly comfortable playing with his gateway style, but Razer's hard countering it so well right now.
So here's another thing to bear in mind. First game, we saw a 3-gate blink build, which is a pressure build on 2 base.
Yep.
We see a DT build on 2 base, which is another pressure build. Why not just relax, sit on 1 gate or even 2 gates, and take a 3rd base and play a macro game that way, and try to hold the push with a better economy?
I think that would be a good option for Zain to take now. He definitely is not having any success with his pressure builds so far.
Not at all. Razer seems to have Zain's number when it comes to defending any type of pressure at all. So we are now in game. Let's introduce our players. Spawning in the top left, it is the red Terran player. It is Razer.
And in the southeast, in the green with the Protoss pieces, it's Zain. Needs to reverse sweep his brother for revenge on to have the opportunity for revenge on Germany in the final of EPIC38.
Razer looking very likely to be able to advance at this stage into the grand finals to take on Forjumi for the revenge. It's difficult to know who Forjumi is more scared of, Razer or Zain.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I actually don't know. I think PvP is perhaps more higher or a higher variance matchup. So maybe Forjumi, if he's confident against both, would rather play against Razer because PvT is less luck-based, dare I say, than PvP.
Then again, we did see several opportunities for Razer to take out Forjumi in his best of 5. I mean, you might argue at one point during Game 5, it looked like Razer was ready to advance into the grand final there and then.
I spoke to Razer after and he said himself, I thought I won.
Yes, I spoke to Forjumi. Forjumi thought Razer won as well. All right, scouting probe coming in. It's just going to harass this SCV. We see Razer going for this double gas opening again. I guess double gas is just ultra safe, so why wouldn't you do it? It's probably Razer's logic.
Having some good success with it so far.
Yeah. He's done it. I think he's done it both games now against Zain, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think
certainly. Well, at least one of the games.
Allows you to get a. Wow, I can't believe that probe could hit that SCV.
I know. He's
threw that guy up.
Razer not having any luck with these scouting probes, is he, against the Protoss players? On the flip side of things, we see Zain just playing it nice and safe, nice and macro-oriented, taking that fast expansion. And once again, he sees the double gas.
Nice
coming
thing
out.
is about the 2 Reapers as well, it basically guarantees that you get the scout of the main base.
Yes.
So even if you lose one, the other Reaper basically always gets into the main.
One thing I haven't seen Razer do, which I've seen a lot of Terrans do, is they bring in together the 2 Reapers and the Hellion, and they just punch forward through into the natural, take out, say, 4 or 5 probes and get a scout off. Now, 4 or 5 probes is obviously a lot of damage. You might not necessarily need that much. But you pull them up together because the damage potential for all 3 of those units is very high. Reaper eating 2 shots, nearly gets taken out. But I know. In my head, I was thinking, there's no way that Reaper dies there. There's no way. Alright, the Adept is going to try and hunt it down, though, but the Reaper does loop around, groups up with the second, and then those combat drugs kicks in. Reaper is going to heal up.
We are seeing a Twilight opening once again from Zain.
You see this shade going on up. It's actually going to take out this SCV, building the CC on the low ground, so that's really annoying for Razer. On the flip side of things, there is a Stalker to defend against these two Reapers. One probe does go down, but it costs the Reaper his life. And does not get up into the main base.
This is really good for
This is
Zain.
so annoying for Razer. Yeah, absolutely. The delay, he actually recalls the Adept there.
Wow.
Well, I guess that's ultra safe.
Comes back and the Reaper comes back.
Yeah. I mean,
allow us to start building this.
Ultra safe, I can't fault it, but at the same time, it feels as though Zain could have gotten a bit more delay onto that command center. Okay, so now we see one Reaper, one Hellion moving across the map. One scouting information, can they get done on the Protoss?
We see a Viking and a Cyclone on the way. Very safe against a potential Oracle or Warp Prism, neither of which are coming. It's going to be Blink and a Robo, so it looks like it'll be some form of 2, 3, or 4 gate Blink.
Interesting choice. So back to game one again. And then again,
but with a Robo this time, so we'll have a Prism.
We see one gate finished and one gate into the productions. This is only a 2-gate Blink type build.
Just be what you wanted, an early third and a macro.
Yes, oriented. We see a probe already on the third base, but we see a Cyclone this time out of Razer. Now that can easily take out the Stalkers that are hunting down the Reaper and the Hellion. Obviously the high ground vision breaks the lock on, but just look at these units. Blocking in one of these Stalkers, so that Stalker should go down now. Obviously it will cost that Reaper and the Hellion its life, so I guess...
Trade.
Yeah, not a bad trade on either side. These Stalkers will push away that Cyclone.
Yeah,
third base goes down.
2-gate Blink into a third base, so much more
perfectly reasonable choice there, I was saying.
Yeah,
absolutely. And likewise, we see Razer going for something very similar to what he's done in both games so far. Going for that tank production, likely to see after this tank finishes going into the mines.
Is he building a second Viking? I'm not seeing that wrong, am I? Maybe he's going to do some Viking harass. Yeah, okay, so he is going to do a Viking harass with that first Viking in the main base. I think it's scouted by the pylon. Not quite. I don't know if that probe saw that Viking or not. It doesn't look like it.
I don't know if he's going to react to it.
There's a battery.
Yeah, there's a battery there anyway. I don't think the Viking out DPS is that, but it looks like a very early move out here by Razer. The Cyclone nearly gets picked off. There's a nice drop, pick up micro and drop micro there by Razer, but the Cyclone dies eventually. Blink is finished, so these Stalkers can just kite this push for days now. And there's a decent enough number that he can actually get some damage onto this bio. Of course, there's Medevac there, so...
Viking in the natural now as well, taking out a few probes.
Yeah, this is, again, really annoying for Zain, but the Stalkers here are able to defend. These Stalkers are trying to stand and fight this Marine bio.
There's no battery at the third. He's only just started it now.
This is a really nice push out of Razer. He's found himself a really awkward timing, building a bunker right in Zain's base, and this is so early in the game with only 2 gates. I don't know how Zain holds this.
Yeah, Zain is completely unprepared for this, really didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And even though he scouted over the Stalkers across the map, he's not prepared in time. And
It's so ironic. The one time he goes for a 2-gate opening is the one time that Razer decides to go for this really early push. He's actually having to vacate the natural, and I think this could just be game over. This could just be GG. There is a counter-attack with a lot of Stalkers in the natural of Razer, but how does... Yeah. Razer's able to defend his main base. I don't know how Zain defends his.
I don't think he can. There's just not enough production.
He's trying to blink back, but he will eventually run out of space. Bear in mind, this is potentially Zain's last game of the tournament, so of course he's going to try and stay in for as long as possible. He recalls a lot of his probes to his third base to be able to carry on mining. But look, this is Zain's essentially entire army. Oh no, this is it's no longer a pylon, it's a Zain pylon.
It is a Zain pylon. It's
look at this.
Murdered.
This base is actually going down. Bear in mind, Zain can't produce anymore. Zain cannot produce, whereas Razer can. Razer's actually going to take his own natural now. He's so far ahead. Probes are being pulled. They're going to get massacred by these Marines and the 2 tanks. Stalkers are going to go down as well. Zain just has nothing. He has 5 Stalkers walking up the ramp finally, but this is just GG. Well played. Razer takes it 3-0. And then we're going to see Razer versus Fojumi in the grand finals.
I am excited. What a finals that's going to be. They had a banger series of the tournament, I'd say, so far.
And look, I understand that Razer and Zain are brothers, and it is a TVP. So you could argue, looking at this, you might think, Razer's looking on form when it comes to TVP. But I take that with a pinch of salt because Fujimi is not Zain.
Oh, for sure. Fujimi has already showed that he has different styles of play, opening with Stargate a lot as well.
Absolutely.
And it really did seem that Razer just had Zain's number in this series.
Yes, yeah. But I wonder if Razer's going to look at some of these Fujimi replays and he's going to try and out-strategize Fujimi.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Razer has in store. And I'm also excited to see if, in that last series we watched with Razer, was he hiding some builds? Did he try and not show off what he potentially could do in the final?
Absolutely. Well, we'll see if we can get a winner's interview with Razer. That would be awesome to have. Here he is. There's the man, the myth, the legends.
Do you want me to vacate?
Yeah, if that's all right.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have an interview with Razer.
Oh,
he's going to join us.
Do we have 3 things? I don't think so.
I don't think we haven't got a third mic.
Okay, that's okay.
Don't worry. Right.
Enjoy.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
Looking forward to revenge.
Yeah, I am.
Right, I don't want to put any more pressure on you. The entire UK SE2 scene is resting its hopes and dreams on your shoulders.
That's right.
How does it feel?
Yeah, there's never been a foreign champion on UK soils in Epic Land, so it feels a bit nervous. I really do want to win. I'm motivated.
Yeah, you had some wild games against Fujimi earlier.
Yeah.
It looked at several points in that series, in multiple games, like you were going to win. So going forwards in this grand finals, how confident are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite confident. Like, against Fujimi, I made a spreadsheet of a list of builds.
I knew it. I knew you'd do
and
something
I've still
like
got
that.
a lot left.
Yes, yeah.
So it's really hard to choose which one to do, but I'm feeling fairly confident.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So tell us about that series versus Zain then. So it looked like you just did the same thing 3 times in a row, except that last game. So game 1, Zain goes for a 3-gate blink build.
Yeah.
It does essentially nothing, and you roll him. Second game, he goes for a DT push. Again, you defend it and then roll him with that push with stim and tanks, etc.
Yeah.
Third game, he decides not to do a two-base pressure build. He goes for a 2-gate third base expansion, and then you just attack super early. What made you decide to attack so early in that third game?
I was kind of desperate. I did not have enough scouting intel, so I kind of blind countered Stargate. I thought he'd go Stargate that game. That's why I got Cyclone Viking. And then my stim and such stuff was so late, so that was my only real play. And I got quite lucky, I think, that he didn't intercept my army properly, and he was a bit greedy as well. Yeah,
it looked like he did intercept your army at some point, but it was quite close to his own base. And he had 5 or 6 Stalkers, but with only 2-gate production, he can't actually produce enough Stalkers to really interfere with your army as it's just marching across the map. Yeah, he really needed an Immortal out. I'm surprised his Robo didn't produce anything. No, I think the Robo was quite late. I think that's the reason why. He went for that third base Robo at roughly the same time, but there was no shield batteries even. Yeah. I think there was one battery in the natural, but I killed it quite quick, and he didn't even get to overcharge it. I would say there's none at the third base, but he didn't even attack the third base. He just marched on up. Yeah, because he was attacking my natural, so I had to kill the throat. Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about games 1 and 2 then. What made you decide to go for just that stim tank with lots of Widow Mines as well? And you pulled the boys. Yeah. So it's very reactive. I pretty much did a really standard mine drop into 3 racks, and then how I go from there depends on what I scout. Yeah. So if I scout 3 or less gas, and I think one game he had 2 gases, that means he's going for a ton of zealots. So I think when I'm tryharding, at least, the correct play is always to just make mines, pull the boys, and then it's really hard for any Protoss to hold that push, especially if they're behind. But I wouldn't have pulled the boys if you went Colossus or Storm or something like that. Interesting, okay. I was literally about to say to Molten, I wonder why Zain chose not to go for a Colossus or Storm type opening, because that looked like the way, quote-unquote, to hold the boys is with Colossus or with Storm. Yeah. But yet Zain always goes for that gateway heavy style. Was that something that you factored into your approach? Yeah, I know him fairly well, and he can go Colossus, but I think he prefers that gateway style more often. Yeah. I suppose in that series as well, you didn't really give away many of your builds that you want to use for Fujimi. Yeah, exactly. Especially when I was 2-0 up, I thought, let me just kind of keep doing something a bit weird. Yeah. So I've still got a lot in the bag. Were you scared at all at any point that Zain was going to pull out something wild, like a Max Packs build or a proxy gate, proxy, whatever? I thought he might. Game 1 did do a bit of a weird 3-gate timing. He proxied 1 gate for the 3-gate blink. Yeah, but I wasn't too worried because games 2 and 3 I did a double gas opening, which if you micro correctly is quite safe against all that sort of stuff. So I thought he might, and that's why I did a safer opening. All right, fair enough. Well, I'll let you have a break in your own time. Good luck in the finals.
Thank you.
Congratulations on getting there.
Cheers.
Also, bring it back for the Brits, yeah?
Will do.
All right.
Land will not be corrupted.
Absolutely not. So for everyone at home, the grand finals will take place at 9 p.m. UK time. So we will take a break and we'll see you then. Take it easy.